Jacked literally changes everything, right? Like once you get in great shape, like your whole life changes. Who you are changes, right? I'm always talking about recreating yourself, right? And when you get jacked, you become like a completely different person. Like when you go from who you were previously, maybe you were skinny or maybe you're overweight, and then you go from skinny or overweight or maybe even both, maybe you're skinny fat, and then you go from that to getting jacked. Those two people are like completely different people. Like your confidence changes. You start to feel better about yourself. You start to have this audacity about yourself. You start to walk differently. You start to talk differently. Like getting jacked is probably the answer to most of your problems. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll start to see more job opportunities. You'll have more energy to pursue your passions. You know what I mean? Spend time with loved ones and all those types of things, man. Like, it's just like it's gonna enhance your overall health. You're just gonna feel way better about yourself, right? Like I remember back when I was like scrawny and skinny, like the energy, the energy that I was receiving was different. Like, you know, I find when you these bugs, man, I find once you get jacked, like people start to treat you differently a little bit. Like people, it's kind of crazy. Like people will kind of like you start to see more respect, especially from like mostly from other men, right? You'll see like kind of like respect. Like they'll kind of everybody's lining up to ask you how you did it or like what's your gym routine. You might even have like allegations on people like, oh, there's probably steroids, right? Yada yada yada. Like you start to you start to gravitate. Is that the word I'm looking for? Gravitate. You start to like notice like the attention is on you when you walk into a room because you see a big black dude walk in. You're like, oh shit, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Like you just notice that the energy is different, right? When I was like scrawny, skinny, like nobody really paid attention to me. I felt like people didn't really take me seriously that much. I don't know. I just felt like it was more like I don't know. They just don't take you serious. You're just kind of and people will kind of assume that you're like younger than what you are because you just have this like goofy like Looney Tune look to you, right? Especially because back then I was a bit younger too. I was like for the most part I was like skinny. I was like a skinny athletic. Like not a basketball player, like a young basketball player body, right? And I was about maybe I was around the ages of like when I was like really scrawny, like 17, 18, 19, up until 20 is when I really started to see results. But in that time, like nobody really took me serious. Like my high school days, I felt like I was more like I don't know. I don't think anyone really took me that serious, right? And so once I actually got jacked, right, I feel like the energy changed. Like I notice people they'll start to they won't say things to your face. You'll find like they won't have the audacity to say things to your face. Maybe it's just fear out of they think like I don't know if I could take this guy if it ever came down to it, right? Like I find people don't really say stuff to your face once you get jacked. I find like you're taken more serious. You look like a weapon of mass destruction, right? I kind of like that idea of looking like a weapon of mass destruction. Mass destruction, right? That's kind of why also too I feel like it's very important as a man to like learn how to fight, not just to like pick fights just for the sake of picking fights, but just like learning to fight because it's better to be a gardener in a war than a warrior in a garden, right? Like it's just better to know how to fight in a garden, right? Because you never know what could happen. It's better. It's good to know that you can like defend yourself. But that's a whole other side tangent. Right now, I'm talking about why getting jacked will literally change your life. So, and the way it changed my life is just that people took me more serious. And I feel like with job opportunities. I remember I think I told this story before. Like there was a cop that he was like, you should join the force. Like, if you use my reference or whatever, like, I'll get you in or whatever. But I was like, it's not really for me. I'm not really trying to be a cop like that. I'm not trying to be an op. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to be a cop and be a police officer, there's totally nothing wrong with that. I actually respect those guys. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not lifestyle for me. But it just goes to show because he saw I was in great shape. He thought I would be a great fit. You know what I mean? And especially if you're doing those like kind of jobs like that, like police officer, firefighter, or like something to do where you're like hands on and you're in the middle of the action, you want to get jacked, and you're gonna and when it comes to like getting time to get recruited, I feel like those recruiters are really looking for people who can like handle their own, right? So, and it just signals like a level of competence. It shows that you're like capable of taking care of yourself and you're disciplined and you're a man of your word. Because getting jacked, it's not necessarily about like, how do I say it? It's not necessarily about how it is how you look. Like there's an outward appearance to it because in today's day and age, presentation does matter, but there's also like a social like proof aspect to it where like people know that like it's something that you can't deny. Like people know you've spent time building that physique, right? They know that you've spent time building it, and it's more a mental thing too because it's about the man you became to get that physique, right? It's the curls, the discipline, like the workouts that you had to endure to get that desired result. It's something that you can't deny. It shows a level of discipline, and that's something that people will try and say, "Oh, you don't need to go to the gym to be disciplined." Like those are the dorks that will say that kind of shit, right? But deep down, they know it's proof that you can't deny that you're him. Like you built that physique. Like you earned that shit, right? And it's something that you can't deny. And yeah, that's why getting jacked will literally change your life. It changes your mental because it shows you that you can change and you can be something new, right? You can create yourself, you can mold yourself into whatever you want to be, right? And that's why getting jacked will literally, it changes everything. It's a whole game changer. People view you differently. And most importantly, you view yourself differently, and that's the most important view that you should focus on. By the way, if you need help building your physique and recreating yourself and building a physique that you're proud of, I'm the guy for that. Make sure you hit me in the DM, not DM. Hit me in this. You can hit me in the DM also. I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is linked down below. But make sure you hit that link in description. Apply for a one-on-one consultation, and we'll see if it makes sense to work together and hit your fitness goals for the year of 2024 and onward. And if you like this video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Send us to someone who needs to hear it. And remember, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.